So today I'm going to be unboxing the latest from AMD, the M4A89GTD Pro / USB3. This is an ASUS motherboard featuring AMD's latest 890GX chipset, and the biggest difference between the AMD 890GX chipset and anything that's come before it is that it has native SATA3 or SATA 6 GB/s support. Also, I have this cool AMD football. Isn't this awesome? Bring your A game. So I'm gonna throw it to the cameraman and hopefully he can catch it. That was really lame. That's okay. It's done now. Okay, so here we go. This features extreme design, #1 performance, reliability, and safety. It is hybrid, which we'll figure out later. Okay, it supports AM3. Ooh, Core Unlocker. This is a big one. So AMD has actually made it a little bit more difficult for the motherboard manufacturers to allow you to unlock dual and triple cores, but ASUS seems to have found a way around it. So they're enabling their users to do that. You have support for GPU Boost, Crossfire X, side port, and hybrid Crossfire X. So that means that you can use the integrated graphics and you can put like some kind of low-end graphics card and you can run them in Crossfire or something. It seems very convoluted and I can't imagine really any reason you would want to do that. If you want to use an add-in graphics card, you put one in. If you don't, then you don't. Core Unlocker intelligently unlocks true core performance. Yep. GPU Boost, so you can actually overclock the integrated GPU. That's pretty cool. Hybrid processor, Turbo V Evo. So, okay, you can overclock with auto tuning. Okay. Turbo Key 2. This is basically like the old turbo button on really old Intel processors. So they're saying that you can basically use a key to boost your CPU performance up with one button press. 100% solid capacitors. It has MemOK, which I'll explain a little bit later. SATA 6 GB/s and EUP. Okay, well why don't we open this up and see if we can find more details on exactly what this thing is. So the first thing we find inside, ooh, I like these already. We find SATA connectors. I just like them. Look at these. They're black and white. That's cool. And they have like a two-tone color scheme. So it actually comes with, it only comes with a couple like that. I'm guessing these are the SATA 6 GB/s connectors, although any decent SATA cable will run fine with SATA 6 GB/s. So they include 2 straight connectors, one black and white, one black, and then 2 right angle connectors, one black and white and one black. It's gonna make it a little difficult to have a unified color scheme in your build, but what are you gonna do? Okay, next we have an IDE cable. Not exciting. Next we have, these are good. These are the Q connectors. So you use these if you have a case that doesn't have them in bricks and has them all split apart to make things a little bit easier for yourself. Then you've got one of these little ASUS VGA switch cards. So I believe this is to turn Crossfire on and or off. Please keep the switch card on the black PCIe 16X slot. Only remove it when you want to install other devices. Okay. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that already installed on the motherboard. That's okay though. Alright, then we've got the I/O shield, which has their spongy, foamy, metally stuff on the back. Then we have the user guide, which also includes a driver CD. Don't use this. Download the latest drivers off the ASUS website. Oh, ooh, case badge. Shiny metal case badge powered by ASUS. Okay. Then there's info about the VGA switch card. That's pretty useful. Thank you for that informational document. So it's for installing one graphics card. You put it in there. Okay, well that seems pretty self-explanatory. I'm glad they included a little addendum for that. Alright, let's have a look. Ooh, that's a nice looking board actually. You don't see too many like schmexy looking AMD boards these days, but it looks like they've really gone all out on this one. Here, I'll do that, cameraman, go away. Here. Put that in there. Okay, so let's put the board on top of the box here and have a look. So yeah, that looks really nice. So they've done a couple things completely differently that I have never seen before. First of all, we've got these really cool looking VRM heatsinks. We should have a look at those from the side because they look pretty sweet. And I'm just kind of going out on a limb here, but I'm guessing because it's labeled hybrid technology, it's all about the power savings. So I'm thinking maybe it's supposed to look kind of like a tree, like green, but then it's blue. So I don't know if that's for sure. Cameraman's giving me a funny look. I don't think he agrees with me. But the Northbridge one looks kind of like waves. It's kind of like water, which is also very environmentally friendly. So That's my guess. I could be totally wrong, and feel free to leave your comments about whether you think I'm right or the cameraman should be giving me a funny look about that green stuff. So let's have a look at the general layout of this board. It is an AM3 board supporting up to 140 watt TDP CPUs, so that means you can put any AM3 capable chip in here. You've got support for dual channel DDR3 memory, as with all AM3 boards that support DDR3, it's dual channel. All right, we've got a few buttons up here that should be pretty relevant. So we've got the turbo key 2 as well as the core unlocker buttons. And then we have the Memo K button. I said I'd explain that later. Memo K basically means that even if you're using RAM that requires more than stock voltage to run, Memo K will automatically set all of the RAM at like a safe setting. That means that you'll be able to post even if you aren't running it at optimal settings. Also, to do with the RAM slots, we've got these cool ASUS exclusive RAM slots that only have a clip on one side. The other side is not actually a clip. So the intention is that you just slide the RAM slot in that way and then put it down on this side and clip it in, so that in theory it's a little bit easier to install. All right, we've got the 24-pin connector in its ideal location along the right-hand edge of the board. And this is probably the weirdest thing I've seen on a motherboard in quite a while. The 8-pin connector is huge. Look at this thing. Okay, so the 8-pin connector, rather than sticking about this high off the board like we normally see, I'm gonna turn this around, actually sticks like 3-4 centimeters up from the board. I'm guessing that makes it a little bit easier to access in theory. One thing that it would also do is make it a little bit more difficult for the for any cabling. If you're bringing it up from the back of the board and then up around to the front, it'd have to be a little longer. But most power supplies, like most quality power supplies these days, have pretty long 8-pin connectors anyway, so I guess it's not. Two things: it was cold outside and the batteries of the camera died. So here we are back in the office, and as I was discussing before, the 8-pin is really long. That is really all I had to say about that beyond what I have already said. So we've got also PCI Express connectors. So we've got two PCIe 16X connectors, one PCIe 1X and one PCIe 4X. This could be useful if you have, say for example, a RAID card or any other device that needs a little bit more bandwidth than a PCIe 1X. Then down here we've got two PCI. I think this is a very ideal layout because if you're using two dual slot graphics cards, I don't know how easy this is going to be. Basically, you'll have one PCIe 4X and one PCI still available. Now, USB connectors. This board has tons. Check this out. You've got 4 USB headers, each of which is good for up to 2 ports or like one card reader. So you can connect a lot of USB devices to this particular motherboard. Down here, this is a big selling point here. These are SATA 6 gigabit per second ports. These are native ports. That means they're running right off of the AMD 890GX chipset. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here. And I don't really like the placement of these two because they could potentially be covered by a full-length dual-width graphics card here, but you still got these two available, and then we have 2 more on the edge of the board, which would also be accessible no matter what. One IDE port, as if... I mean, you know what? Actually, I shouldn't say that. A lot of people are still using these for DVD drives, so it's a perfectly legitimate thing to continue to include on a motherboard. No floppy connector, though, and that I can't say I'll miss. So there we go. Let's have a look at the back. Here we have lots of different connectors. Let's start at the top. We've got a PS2 keyboard port. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 USB 2.0 ports. And then we have, hold on, let me see if I can figure out oh, cool, this is one of those combo ports. So we actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 USB 2.0 ports. Then we have an optical audio out, HDMI out, DVI out, VGA out, so lots of different video output display adapter options. Then we have FireWire and eSATA. So this is one of those combo USB/eSATA ports. Very cool. Then we have a gigabit LAN and 7.1 audio. Thank you for checking out my unboxing of the ASUS M4A89GTD Pro/USB 3. Wait, no, stop. Wait, stop. Hold on, there's more. I forgot. I just said the name of the board. It has USB 3 right in it. These blue ports, they're USB 3. I didn't even say that. Also, don't forget to comment on the video. Let me know if you agree with me or the cameraman about the green heatsink design. That is all.